This is how I make $100 profits on every PC flip that I do. Figure out your budget. First, figure out how much you want to spend. So let's say it's $600. So first thing we're going to do is look for some parts. So let's go type up GPU. So, all right. So we're going to the GPU. There's going to be plenty of options. There's going to be crazy high like this 5090 on the right. And then there's going to be like the 2070 Super, which is actually not that bad. So, let's keep on going through and see if we can find something better than the 2070. I like this 2080 Super from Asus. That's a pretty nice one. It's pretty well priced at 180. The pictures look good, to be honest. I wouldn't go any lower because it's just such a good price. But yeah, I mean, this thing looks really nice. Let's look at some other ones. The 67 XT looks nice from XFX. I don't know how this compares, so we'll have to check that out later. But it looks really clean. Still got the warranty sticker and everything. They even got the, okay, wow. Yeah, it's really clean. Let's keep on looking though. All right, all right, all right. Yeah, the 3060 Ti is pretty clean too. Is it a 3-fan? Yes, it is. All right, but it is a little bit dusty, which is not that big of a deal. We can fix it. So go over to GPU comparison, and user benchmark should have a pretty good one. So type in whatever GPU you want to start off with. So let's start off with that 2080 Super. So this is actually a pretty good GPU. It's has 74 and it's ranked 46th out of 453 GPUs. So that's actually pretty good. So then you type in your other GPU. So let's do the 3060 Ti to compare because yeah, 3060 Ti. Okay, so just type in your other GPU to compare. I don't know why it's not popping up, but whatever. All right, yeah. Okay, so it is ranked, I don't know, I can't see, 46. So 46 and 47th for speed rating. So it's not always necessarily the speed. Oh, okay, yeah. So actually it's the Super that's faster, which is not really surprising. Just because it's just so much more, it's so much beefier. So it's just really overall probably a better one. So let's go back and compare the 67 XT. Right, that's what it is. I can't remember. I'm tripping. 67 XT. Yeah, all right. So type in 6070 XT, 6700 XT. Okay, yeah. So originally the 6700 XT was more, and it is newer. So that's a bonus. A lot of people do prefer newer cards over the older, beefier cards. Um, speed rank is 50th, so it's not as fast. But we can go look in some of the deeper scores. Yeah, so the 2080 Super is just by far faster. Although as I mentioned earlier, the 6070 XT does have more nice to haves. It's 51% more nice to have, which I mean doesn't really matter when you're flipping PCs because these are the people who are buying them most likely don't really care about that and they'll just sell their other one and buy a new one once they need it. So the next thing you want to look for is your CPU motherboard combo. And I typically like to combo these just because it makes it so much more cheaper and it also cuts down on your time and how much like you pay for gas and all that other stuff with transportation because they're all in one. And even better if you can get the RAM like this one. So this has nice DDR4 I believe Vengeance RAM at 3200 or 3600 megatransfers, which is close to the sweet spot. I think it's 3000 and 3200, but it does have a nice chip with a 10700K and a nice motherboard with that VRM cooling, which is always super important because that's one of the key ways motherboards break down. Okay, and now is when I would recommend breaking off from Marketplace, just because when you are buying some parts, it's just better to buy new. So with SSDs, you really don't want to have a used SSD just because you don't know the reliability and how heavy the SSD was used. So I would honestly pay the premium to get like a Kingston NVMe just because it is so much more reliable. And you can also look at the ratings, 1200 ratings, or no, 12,000 ratings, which, and it's a 4.7 Gen 4. This is like one of the perfect things. It is just so expensive now. So you do want to look for a CPU cooler, and honestly, for me, I would choose the Peerless Assassin. But since this is a computer that you're flipping, you don't need to have the best thermals, and you can cheap out a little bit as long as it works. So this Thermal Assassin will work perfectly fine. I wouldn't even go for the RGB one, just this regular one. It has nice aluminum heat sinks and heat spreaders, so it's perfect for what you need. Next thing you need to find is the PSU, and similar to the NVMe, I would buy new just because you don't know how heavy and how long it's been used. You can find a lot of these for sale. I would also stick with name brands just because you don't know the reliability of these other ones necessarily. You can also look at the ratings, which is a good indicator, but anything with like under 500 ratings, I typically stay away from, just because I want to be 100% certain that it is really good, unless it looks like an exceptional model, like this ASRock Pro 750. You probably don't need 750 watts for this, but it's nice to have. And to tie it all together, the last thing you need is your case. And personally, I would just stick with the same case or between a few cases. Personally, I love this Lian Li V100. V100 or V100 Mini. It comes in black and white. And it gives you space for a 300 millimeter AIO at the top or the side on the right. It's really a clean case and it really matches with everything. You get that 420 millimeter support for GPUs and that 360 millimeter radio that I mentioned. And it does come in the white again. You can also buy it without the fans if you want to go a little bit cheaper, but it's just a really nice case. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to get a PC like me, follow the guide and I don't know, do what you want to do. Like all of this, it depends on your location and your local economy, really. So just use this as a guider, and I would recommend buying some of those parts new, like I said. Also, make sure to like and subscribe for more. Stay tuned for tomorrow and check out my other videos. Peace.